that actually you realize apotheosis happens through personal Eros. Apotheosis happens through outrageous love notes. Apotheosis, I become the divine when I actually feel the divine quality of outrageous love awake and alive in me. And I write outrageous love notes, which is what the Song of Songs is. The great Song of Songs in the Bible is a series of outrageous love notes. That's what it is. My dear friend, Ken Wilber, in a beautiful book called Up from Eden, which is really part of Ken's early work, and it's a fantastic book. It's actually my favorite book of Ken's. We sat one day at the loft for like 4 or 5 hours, kind of one of those special days, talking into twilight. We talked a lot about that particular book. In the beginning of the book, Ken said a number of things that I took strong issue with, which we later came to a deep communion on, which is in the beginning of the book, it's kind of clear. There's kind of a clear implicit or explicit rejection of the notion of personal God, or the notion of prayer. And it's viewed as a kind of caricature. And we've evolved that position together, right, in the integral context. But that position is also an evolved, transformed, gorgeous, much deeper realization. It is really at the very, very core of cosmoerotic humanism. And at the very core is this understanding that we don't have to be embarrassed to pray. Right? Immanuel Kant said, the modern person is most embarrassed caught praying, right? I was talking to John Wellwood before he passed, and we actually did a dialogue, which is published actually on our website, on the Center for Integral Wisdom website. And we're gonna start also publishing dialogues on the Office of the Future website. And John is a fantastic thinker. He wrote a very, very, very important book, right, on kind of the early visions of enlightenment and how enlightenment integrates with psychology. And John said, I heard great things about you, Mark, and, I heard your all sorts of nice compliments. And he said, I heard you're also a little controversial. He said, but I don't care about that. I want to talk about, all the good things I heard. And particularly though, I heard something really disturbing about you. And I'm not quoting him exactly, but this is the approximate sense of things. I said, what's that? He said, I heard you teach people about prayer. That's like ridiculous. And based on everything else I know and about the depth of what you all are thinking around cosmoerotic humanism, right? Prayer? Really? You believe in prayer? I said, John, what do you believe in? And John says, I believe in awareness. I said, John, you believe in the dogma of awareness? And John said, no, Mark, you don't understand. I don't believe in the dogma of awareness, right? Awareness is a realization. Awareness is a realization. So I said, John, now we're getting closer. Prayer is a realization as well. Prayer is not a dogma. Prayer's got nothing to do with belief. Prayer is actually at its core a realization. And that's what this code is about. We realize what the great mystics call ani, I, the first person of the divine. Tat famase, thou art that. The deep realization. And I can't even, I'm embarrassed to say it now in a way that anyone could understand automatically. It's such a deep realization. It requires so much to, not just to explain it, but to feel it, to explode into it, to know what it means. It's the realization of apotheosis, that the human being realizes that he, she participates directly in the field of divinity. Thou art that. That's the first person of the divine. But so often, sometimes I feel I'm saying it even to you, to the people I'm closest to, and we kind of just hear and it kind of, oh, okay, right. That's the first person of the divine. And we don't even, do you get what that means? Apotheosis? It's beyond imagination. We have to spend weeks on that. And the depth of our work, our practice of outrageous love is to realize that actually you realize apotheosis through outrageous love. And that's going to be actually our whole summer festival. We're doing a summer festival in the first weekend. It's going to be our 10th year. And the entire real theme of the summer, right, is going to be that actually you realize apotheosis happens through personal eros. Apotheosis happens through outrageous love notes. Apotheosis, I become the divine when I actually feel the divine quality of outrageous love awake and alive in me. And I write outrageous love notes, which is what the Song of Songs is. The great Song of Songs in the Bible is a series of outrageous love notes. That's what it is. It's outrageous love notes. And Solomon, the Song of Songs that belongs to Solomon, Shir HaShirim Asher LeShlomo, Solomon, right? The Song of Songs of Solomon, Solomon is called in the interior sciences Melech Shalom Shalom, the king to whom wholeness belongs. So beautiful. What does that mean? Solomon is the king to whom wholeness belongs, meaning Solomon, the king, the historical king, is the king. Solomon is God. And what makes, how does Solomon realize that he's God? Solomon realizes he's God through the 1,000 wives that he marries. What does that mean? So that's a mythical, esoteric code for personal eros. Solomon becomes the divine through his most personal and intimate loves. So it's the Song of Songs that belongs to Solomon. And I'm so much trembling. This is the first time I've said this out loud. So I'm so exultant, ecstatic to say this and share this with you. It's so gorgeous. So it's the Song of Songs that belongs to Solomon, the Song of Songs of Shlomo, of Solomon. Shlomo, the king, Shlomo means shalom, wholeness. The king, Shalom Shalom, the king to whom wholeness belongs. That's a code word for apotheosis. And that's what we're going to talk about this week in Sacred Text Study. Right? That's a code word for apotheosis. Right? I become whole. I become God through my personal eros. What's my personal eros? The outrageous love notes that I write. The Song of Songs is a series of outrageous love notes. So that verse, the Song of Songs that belongs to Solomon, the king to whom wholeness belongs, is the first verse of the Song of Songs. And what is the Song of Songs? A series of outrageous love notes. Right? So I capacitate apotheosis, my divinity, through writing outrageous love notes. I don't think there's actually another way. Right? To actually become God. It's not enough to just realize I'm awareness or the awareness of awareness. But all that is the first person of the divine. That's the first person, though. The third person of God is that force of Eros moving through cosmos as a third person force, the force of outrageous love that moves through cosmos. But the second person of the divine is the personhood of cosmos itself. You get that? That's why now I want this is so deep. It's like, this is so deep. This is the inside of the inside. It's the Holy of Holies. And we need to realize it so deeply so we're going to be able to come to prayer. So you can't get to the first person of the divine without the second person and the third person. That's why I think ultimately, I just want to say it straight, the straight awareness, true self practices actually don't work. You can't just realize true self. With total respect and delight, my friend Eckhart Tolle. It doesn't work. You can't just become awareness. No. You capacitate apotheosis, you become divinity when you actually engage. That's the first person of the divine. You actually engage Eros, the force of Eros, third person of the divine Eros moving through you, third person, but then you need to engage it in second person, which means you actually need to engage personal Eros, your personal Eros. It's your personal Eros. It's your Song of Songs. It's your outrageous love notes. That's the way to enlightenment. That's why outrageous love notes have been such a big, important part of our circle. And if you're new, anyone, right, by outrageous love notes, we mean, and I had the great privilege with, Dr. Kincaid, with Christina Kincaid, of creating the Outrageous Love Project back in 2013. Outrageous love notes means I write outrageous love notes to a beloved who might well be a brother, a sister, a friend, right? It's not romantic love, but it's more than romantic love. It's not less than, it's more than. I actually participate in the outrageous love of cosmos moving through me. And I read you an outrageous love note where I give myself permission to exaggerate until I'm accurate. And I actually find you, because love is not just an emotion, love is a perception. It means I see you. I let my heart blow open with mad love. Right? And when I actually write, in the actual writing of the outrageous love note, I can only write that note by accessing she who lives in me through the space of our royal we. Right? That's what it means. That's second person. Second person is outrageous love notes. And second person is personhood. Outrageous love notes they're much more than personal, but they're not less than personal. So it's the personhood of cosmos that moves through me and in the space of we. And that personhood doesn't exhaust itself. Her personhood doesn't exhaust itself in the space of we. We participate in a larger field of personhood. So God is the larger field of personhood. And that's the sense in which we said in the code, God's not merely the infinity of power, God's the infinity of intimacy, who knows my name, right? And who holds me, right, in every single second.